Ahoy hoy, I'm Planarwalk and welcome to the third podcast I've done. Technically. I mean, this is the first in the series of PlanarTalk, but technically there was one with Wade. I don't think I should call that a podcast. And then there's Mogcast, which, you know, that's been happening over on Dean Weiss's channel. But this one isn't quite as long as Mogcast. It's going to be a much smaller thing. So I should explain what this one is about. So this one is about Indigo Children. And when I first heard of this, I was like, what the fuck is it? And so I clicked on this link that this person gave me because I heard about it in this server to do with Flat Earth. And because I joined the server because I was like, alright, I'll find some good Flat Earth arguments to just go ahead debunk, right? Because a lot of them I can debunk. There's only one which I can't debunk because I don't know how the fuck it works. And for some reason I get the feeling that Flat Earthers don't know how the fuck it works either. So they use that as their argument because they don't understand how it works. But that aside, this person who's a Flat Earther he speaks really weirdly as well when he's typing. It's hard to read what he's saying. He puts so many different weird things in there. I find that's a pattern between some people like Flat Earthers and even hardcore Christians do the same thing as well. But this person, basically what he is arguing is that that NASA is trying to make people think that the Earth is flat because they want people to feel insignificant, right? Just a small speck on a small rock in a big universe. That's what he was saying NASA's the narrative that NASA's trying to push. And I was thinking, okay, so the main reason why he believes in Flat Earth is probably because he wants to feel like he has some importance in his life, right? And then he linked me this thing saying that he's an indigo child and that he is an ancient soul starseed, and I'm like, yeah, you really feel like you're insignificant if there's no God and if the universe doesn't revolve around you. You feel insignificant. So, I don't think that these indigo children, I don't think that they're an actual thing. I don't think they exist. When it comes to what can classify you as an indigo child, or the signs that you're an indigo child, they're really vague. Just about anyone can be classified as that. It's like if I say that I was born blue. No shit, I was actually born blue. The umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. Does that make me a fucking Smurf? Of course it doesn't. Okay, some people may argue, yes, you're a fucking Smurf. I used to be quite small, and people do think that that I look quite young for my age. I'm actually 21. But I'm not a fucking Smurf. I'm not blue now. Maybe I'm the reincarnation of a Smurf. But just understand how ridiculous that sounds for me to say, oh yeah, I'm a reincarnated Smurf. Of course it sounds fucking ridiculous. To call yourself an ancient soul starseed, that's ridiculous. You know, I don't think there's any evidence for you to be some, I don't know, space monkey, ancient unicorn dragon fairy. You're just not. Because I've met people that think that they're angels, right? And I understand that you want to feel important. You want to feel like your actions will have an impact. But here's the thing. They do. No matter how important you are, your actions have an impact. But anyway, let's have a look at indigo children in particular. Witchy nose. Anyway. So, who are Okay, yeah, I'm just making sure that it shows up on the podcast. Alright, so who are the Indigo Children? Well, this is going to be good. Indigo Children are souls present on Earth now to help realign humanity with our authentic truth as multi-dimensional spiritual beings. Okay. Half of that is true. We are multi-dimensional beings. No one's going to argue that we're not multi-dimensional beings. I mean, just my ability to move my hand, or just the ability to actually move, makes you multi-dimensional. Because as far as we know, we've got 4 dimensions to us. X, Y, Z, and T. T is for time. So as you move, that's time, you know. And so, yeah, that's obvious. I don't think they understand what multidimensional can be said to mean. I see the word as dimensions. Okay, so there's 4 dimensions. Multi means that there's multiple dimensions. There's 4 dimensions. That's multiple dimensions. Maybe they've got some other meaning to it, but that's my meaning to it. And they probably do have some other meaning to it. But spiritual beings, kinda depends on your view of spirituality. You may look at the universe, realize that it's such a huge place, realize that it's wondrous, and just feel spiritual about it. I'm not gonna argue that that's not a thing. You can be spiritual in that way. Some people aren't spiritual at all. They just, just live life. But yeah. But I don't think that saying that we are spiritual is a truth. I don't know how authentic they think that truth is. Anyway, moving on. There's a lot here on this page, so. They're often called system busters, and are usually intuitive, strong-willed, incredibly bright souls who don't seem or want to fit into the system. Incredibly bright. Yeah, right. That guy that I was arguing with, he's not that bright. He just wants to be important. He just wants to feel important. They're the rule breakers and are here with a special mission to help humanity evolve and move towards a higher level of consciousness. Okay, what does moving towards a higher level of consciousness actually mean? They seem to be really vague in this thing. They say, we're moving towards a higher level of consciousness. What does that actually mean? I don't understand. In the case of indigos, this work is often through helping break down and shine a light upon the old and outdated aspects of the world that are ready to be changed, dissolved, or shifted. Okay. So, is spirituality an old and outdated aspect? I'd say that it is. I'd argue that it is an old and outdated aspect. Things... We often assign spirituality to things that we cannot understand or explain. So, and we've got science now. Science can often explain a lot of these things. Does that mean spirituality is old and outdated? That means that this thing is contradicting itself. But it won't admit that. Most agree that the soul group of Indigo Children began arriving in the 1970s, with the majority being born in the 90s, 80s, and 1990s, though there are still Indigo Children being born today. I don't get... Why would all these types of spirits, or whatever the fuck, still... why would they arrive in the 1980s mostly? Why? I don't understand. Why was there a sudden, we're just going to have a whole lot of Indigo Children arrive in the 1980s. There we go. That should fix the world. What does that mean? Well, I know what it means, but I'm just trying to explain it. Like, why? Why isn't it consistent? This does not, however, mean that all children born since the 1980s are in this group. Many souls incarnating on Earth are still bringing a great deal of karma and past life challenges to work through and resolve. Once these karmic soul lessons have been learned, all beings can tap into power and possibility for transformational change carried by the Indigo, Crystal, and Rainbow Star Kids. This sounds like a whole lot of gobbledygook, like spiritual gobbledygook. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like, this sounds like someone's pulling it out of their ass. Doesn't really make much sense. Like what's this? A great deal of karma and past life challenges. Why? I mean, it could be like the last generation fucked things up for the world, like by causing things like pollution, global warming, and we've got to work through it and resolve it. But I'm guessing you're meaning spiritually. And I don't understand why I should have to deal with someone else's karma. If someone else fucked shit up, and then karma's a thing, why didn't karma affect them in the original life? Why should I have to deal with my reincarnated soul's karma? Why should I have to deal with it? I mean, I get that in a way they have to experience me, but I'm a new person. I just don't understand it. I have my own gripes with reincarnation itself, but that's another thing. All right. So the primary purpose for the Indigos is to help free us all from our past limitations and to break down our old and outdated habits and beliefs. Old and outdated beliefs, like God. I'd call that an old and outdated beliefs. Like things to do with spirituality, is that an old and outdated belief? No. It only applies to what they think is old and outdated. Right? Just gotta cough for a second. Indigos are here to challenge our way of thinking, which clears the way for the crystals and rainbows to accomplish their missions. These Indigo kids, many of whom are now adults, are old and wise souls returning to Earth to lead us towards greater creativity and cooperation to pave the way for more spiritual and connected society. Okay. I can see, some things which can be done. So, greater creativity. Alright. I agree with we need to have more creativity. We need to have more cooperation as well. How about fixing the education system? That would lead towards greater creativity and cooperation. Fix the goddamn educational system, god damn it. What? Why not do that? Rather than say, oh, I'm a spirit. I'm an old spirit that has been sent to Earth and I'm an angel from the land of Heshkatar and we're here to do shit, although I don't know how we're going to do it. It doesn't say how they're going to do it as well. It just says, it's just going to lead us towards that. How? Maybe a few details would be great. That's the problem with this as well. It doesn't go through and explain it clear enough. It's like, there's these people which are going to do this thing. And here's how you can recognize that somebody is one of these. I don't know. It just seems like someone's pulled this out of their ass and not given much detail so that people can interpret it in just about any way they want to. I can interpret it in just about any way I want to. Who are the Indigo Children? I think that... Didn't you just explain who the Indigo Children are? Yeah, what? There's who are the Indigo Children here, and then there's who are the Indigo Children here. What the fuck? Why is there two separate... Who are the Indigo Children? I shit you not. Well, I don't understand this. This does not... Anyway. Most of us carry the belief that we are separate from each other. You have your own mind and body, your own thoughts and feelings, and your own life. Indigo Children know that this isn't true. Well, I'd say that it is true. We do have our own mind and body. We do have our own thoughts and feelings. We do have our own life. This is true. Like, no matter how you look at it, my thoughts are my own. Your thoughts are your own. Even if you have some telekinetic abilities, your thoughts are still your own. Unless someone were to change these thoughts, then you've still got your own thoughts. You've developed them from your own experiences. You experience life in a unique way. That makes you an individual. What, are we all like some... Is this to break down individuality? I'm proud of being an individual. I like being an individual. It makes life worth living if you're an individual. I don't want to be the same as everyone else. I once said, fuck being normal. I've said that multiple times actually. Like, fuck being normal. I don't want to be normal. Too many people are normal, and that's boring. They're here to eliminate this old belief that brings us closer to the truth. We are all one. We're all humanity. I mean, we're all individuals in humanity, but we're all humans. You, me, and my brothers and sisters. I don't have a brother, but I might have a brother. I don't know. I don't think I have a brother though. But you, me, my sister, my mum, my dad, we're all humans. I suppose that's kind of true. As I said, this can be interpreted in many different ways. We have forgotten the connection that exists between our minds, but an indigo has an inner knowing and a deeper understanding that includes psychic abilities. You don't have psychic abilities. Indigo Children don't have psychic abilities. Stop trying to bullshit me. I know that this isn't true. When humans started to think with an ego rather than feel through spirits, thousands of years ago we lost the ability to remain tapped into the collective consciousness. Okay. I think we've had an ego for a long time, much larger than thousands of years ago. Remember when there were pharaohs? Yeah, we had egos back then. And pharaohs have been around for, I don't know, like thousands of years. Thousands of years. And we've had tribes and all that for a lot longer. I'm pretty sure we had an ego back then. Like, we've seen this in animals as well. We've seen egos in animals. Like, a cat has a huge ego. So, I don't think that the whole spirit thing is, like, something that can be destroyed by thinking with ego. And why would we think with ego rather than spirits if thinking with spirits was good for us, you know? I like doing things that are good for me. I don't know. The more we came to rely on ego and intellect, the less awareness we had of our intuition. This makes it sound like ego and intellect are bad things. Intellect is not a bad thing. Intellect is a good thing. I can make this podcast because of people's intellect. Intellect means that we can have a better understanding of our universe. Like, if we have a collective consciousness or whatever, we may have understand our universe better. But A, there's no evidence of this, and B, if we understood the universe better, wouldn't that mean that we have more intellect? Wouldn't that mean that we... I don't understand this. Like, this seems stupid. Someone's pulling this shit out of their ass. I can tell. Indigo children have come to remember their true selves and help others do the same. The average Indigo came into this current lifetime with many challenges and previous karma. I don't understand why they have previous karma, but I don't know. Their work is to learn the lessons, resolve the karma and old patterns, and ascend to be natural spiritual teachers and leaders. Because of this, you'll find that many Indigos have known from an early age that they are special, with an important job to do here. I feel special, so I'm an Indigo child, okay? I felt special when I was 5, and I've felt special ever since. And if you tell me that I'm wrong, I'm gonna go cry and have a tantrum about it. Because I'm a fucking Indigo child, god damn it! Am I doing it right? But yeah, I've always felt special. So I'm a fucking Indigo child. God damn, I debunked myself, didn't I? But seriously, this is stupid. Like, yes, everyone feels special at a young age. I felt special at a young age. I thought that I was going to be the one to save the world. I'd still like to save the world if possible. But I don't mind people like Elon Musk doing good shit for the world. Because we're all in this together, aren't we? I used to think that only I could save the world. Only I could do things to save the world. Then I realized as I grew up that it's not just, if I'm gonna save the world or something, like stop climate change, stop overpopulation and whatever, I need the help of others, you know? And even if I don't have a role in saving the world or whatever, then, you know, as long as it's saved, I don't give a shit. But the whole saving the world thing was back from when I was, 12, and thought that the world needed this big saving. Now I understand better and realize that we just have to, give people proper education, reduce our carbon emissions and stuff like that, and things will be good. Need to keep the environment stable. The world will be here after we're gone. Unless we somehow manage to split it into a million tiny little pieces. Which, maybe we will. We have a tendency to destroy shit. Alright, what were here there? This causes some to feel completely at ease in this life and others to feel constantly outside. Completely at ease or constantly outside. We kind of fit into one of those categories regardless of whether you're an Indigo child or not, don't you? Like, you may feel completely at ease, right? And if you're not feeling completely at ease, you probably feel outside, constantly outside. So, it's kind of redundant point, isn't it, It's like saying that you either feel happy or sad. Sure, there might be a bit of a neutral ground, but most people will either feel happy or sad. And you can divide things like sadness into different emotions that branch off from sadness. Like, I'd say that, you either have negative feelings or positive feelings. And then there's kind of a neutral bit. And the negative feelings can include things like anger, sadness, disappointment, shit like that. And then your positive feelings would be things like, I don't know. Let me think about this. Positive feelings like happiness, joy, excitement, love, all that shit. That's, and saying that, if you're a Smurf, you either feel positive feelings or negative feelings. It's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Okay, let's read through more of this bullshit. Indigos are often born with clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clear cognizance, clear knowing, clear audience, clear hearing, and clear sentience, clear feeling. What do they actually mean? You know, I have good vision. I have really good vision. Well, compared to some people that I've met. Like, fun story here. Like, with my ex, I had much better vision than her. I could see shit that was far off in the distance reading it. This is at KFC one time. I was sitting in one of the booths, and it was as far from the monitor, just about as far from the monitor as you can get, where it shows the numbers. I could tell what those numbers said. Sure, I had to, analyze it, try and work out the shapes and shit, but I could tell what those numbers were. And I said, okay, it says that our order is getting ready. They could not tell. Like, my ex could not tell what the number was. So, maybe she needed glasses. She probably did need glasses, but she never went and got an eye exam or anything, and glasses can get pretty expensive. I don't think I need glasses. I may be slightly colorblind, but apart from that, I don't need glasses. And I don't think glasses help with colorblindness. Maybe you can get glasses to help with colorblindness, but I think it's just I don't see colors quite as vibrantly as most people would. All right. So that clear seeing, clear knowing, clear hearing, clear feeling shit is bullshit. Because there's no, like, it seems to be very vague. What do they mean by clear knowing? I know things very clearly. They can easily connect to the angel realm. Oh yes. Take me to the angel realm. Detect dishonesty in others and have an uncanny ability to read others in situations. Okay, that's normal people can detect honesty in others. You know, it doesn't take a fucking Indigo child to do that. I mean, you know, I'll watch programs and I'll be able to tell when, you know, like they put very subtle hints that this person is being dishonest. It doesn't take a genius to work that out, and you know, you can tell when people are being dishonest unless they're a really good liar. Some people are really good liars, so they can, you know, for the most part, they are confident individuals with a high sense of self-worth. Sounds like the guy that I know. Or the guy that says that he's an Indigo child. Oh, I don't know how confident he is, but he has a high sense of self-worth. He thinks that he's an important motherfucker. They're here to smash our false beliefs and remove obstacles. To do that, they have been gifted with warrior personality, psychic gifts, and a strong intuition. This combination of gifts ensures their success in clearing the way and helping to begin humanity's journey to our natural next step. They can, however, be an addiction to prone, sensitive to toxins and chemicals, and they can even tend to get in trouble as they smash preconceived ideas and are very comfortable with breaking the rules. Or should I say, breaking the rules. You know, like, I suppose everyone's addiction prone. Like, it's a natural part of humans. Like, it's like, does this mean that they get addicted to cigarettes? They get addicted to what is it? Video games. They get addicted to alcohol. They get addicted to drugs. They get addicted to everything. Like, makes them sound like some fat motherfucker with a cigarette in his mouth, playing video games in their mother's basement. But they're probably not like that. But I don't know what any of them are actually like. I'm not like that. And if I'm an indigo child, like some things. But addiction prone. Didn't it say here about something about habits? Where is it about habits? Oh yeah, break down our old and outdated habits and beliefs. Usually addiction leads to habits. And they're meant to break down our habits. Okay. Traits of indigo children. Oh, let me see if I'm an indigo child. This will be fun. Many rules seem silly and arbitrary. They prefer a fresh, creative approach to most things. That describes me. A lot of rules are silly and arbitrary. Like the whole, like, even the 10 Commandments, they seem silly and arbitrary. Like, thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. God damn, that's a very silly and arbitrary rule. Rigid authority with no room for input often rubs them the wrong way, and they tend to distance themselves from these people's institutions and organisations. That does describe me too. When I was in school, I didn't like the fact that we had, like, when it came to classes, there was like a way to do things, and you couldn't really go around this, you know? Like, you had to take English, and I'm like, yes, English is my native language. So yes, I need to know English. I need to know how to speak English. I need to know how to write things in English. But when you get to the point where what you're watching isn't even in English, it's in Old English, what's the point of that? When am I going to need to recite Macbeth? Unless I'm an actor in a play, I will not need to know Macbeth. Although, it does help if you're writing. And I do like creative writing, but we didn't, like, this is in year 13 that you're learning, I think it was Othello in year 13? Or 7th form, I think it is for some people. But yeah, 7th form I was learning Othello. And there was barely any creative writing. Like, if an assessment had been rewrite Othello in a different way, in a creative way, that would have made sense. But I don't know. Like, school just seems stupid with you didn't have much room for input. Alright. They sometimes seem antisocial unless with other indigos. Okay, first off, how do you know that you're with another indigo child? Like, how am I supposed to tell what an indigo child is if I'm not social? Now, second off, they've used the wrong I think they've used the wrong term for antisocial. Well, I think they mean asocial. That's what I think they mean. That just annoys me. Asocial and antisocial are two completely different things. Asocial means that you don't want to socialize. Antisocial is that you're against like social things, like and that you lack empathy and stuff like that. And if they mean asocial, then unless they communicate with other indigos, how will they know that that person is another indigo? You've got to communicate to find out things about other people to know that you want to communicate with them. Okay. Insightful. Often coming up with new ways to do things and ways to improve old rules and processes. That sounds like me. I come up with new ways to do things like this. Initially, I was going to record this podcast with just like my video. Then I was like, wait, what if I design a new logo for this podcast, as you can see down there? And the Planar and the T makes a microphone. Kind of like how in my logo, the Planar and the W makes a video game controller. So I'm using intelligence here, and that's a new way to do things. I suppose typography has been around for ages, but it's a new way to do things with my logo. And it worked out well. I was able to use the T as sort of the base for the microphone and the planar as the diaphragm for the microphone. Alright. Sometimes feel lost or misunderstood. Yeah, I do. Often I feel lost or misunderstood. But here's the problem with a lot of these things. They're very vague. I've managed to assign myself to all of these. Often cope with difficulties by going inward. Yep, that's me. Like, what I'll often do is I may sound crazy for doing this, so if this is what they mean by it, then Indigo Children are basically crazy motherfuckers. But anyway, what I'll often do is if I'm trying to deal with something, what I'll do is I'll think about it in my mind. I'll think about it in my mind in a way that has me and like some sort of other person that my mind just creates. It's not some other person that's completely against me or anything. But basically, what I'll do is I'll talk to this other person to sort of try and understand, try and think of things in a different way, because the main thing that leads to difficulties is is not understanding something from another perspective. As soon as you understand something from another perspective, most difficulties can be resolved. And by sort of going inward, so to speak, you can deal with these difficulties by seeing it from someone else's perspective. And that's very important when you're debating someone. You want to be able to see their argument from their perspective and not your own. So, next, they prioritize their personal needs without anxiety over how this will be perceived. Okay, this one doesn't completely fit me, but I do often prioritize my own needs. If I need something, then I will prioritize that. Of course I'll prioritize that. And yes, I'll try and not do this with anxiety. If I need something, then often the anxiety is caused by the fact that I need it, and I'm just trying to work out how to get that, And if you need something, then you have no sort of worries about how something will be perceived, Next, headstrong and strong-willed. Yeah, I'm pretty strong-willed. As soon as I set my mind to something, I'll do that. They are creative and drawn to many types of creative expression. Of course I am. My YouTube channel is a great example of how I'm creative. Like, you just go ahead and watch some of my videos where I play guitar. I've been working on something here. I've been working on a tune here, so I'm creative. To come up with things, like, that's not the full thing. That's what I can remember right now. But to come up with things like that, you need to be creative. To go into arts, you need to be creative. If you aren't creative, then you're just going to create something that someone else has made. And maybe someone else has made that, I don't know. But I have come up with things before. And yeah, that even doing what someone else has done is creative. So just say you do a cover of a song, that's still creativity, especially if you put your own spin on that cover. Like when I did the whole cover of The Price of Freedom, I tried to work out, okay, how do I make it my own? So I added heavier distortion to the guitar, to the distorted guitars, and I couldn't get a proper recording of an acoustic guitar. If I were to be able to do it, if I did it again today, I'd probably be able to do it a hell of a lot better. But yeah. Addiction prone. Well, I've already clarified that humans are addiction prone, and yeah, I get addicted to shit. Main thing will be food, although I'm a skinny motherfucker. I can, do this. So I don't think that me being addicted to food is a bad thing yet. Until my metabolism suddenly decides, okay, yeah, we're going to speed up this, or we're going to slow down, I think it is. Feel like an old soul, even at a young age. I feel old as fuck. Often isolate themselves or are born introverts. Who doesn't isolate themselves at times? Honestly, who doesn't? Like, I isolate myself sometimes. And I probably can be considered an introvert. I don't get the sort of distinction between introverts and extroverts and trying to classify people into one of two categories. People can be both introverts and extroverts. I am both. I'll often be introverts and think of situations in my own head, play them out, and then work out which the best way would be to go, analyze the different scenarios, and then there's me. I can be extroverted and go, all right, I just want to talk to everyone. So that describes me, but I think it describes everyone. And yes, I'll isolate myself sometimes. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want alone time? Sometimes have a history of seeing angels or other spirits. I feel like I have, like in the past. I'm really skeptical of it now because, your mind plays tricks on you. And there was this dude that claims to be an angel, so have I seen an angel? And what about digital angels? Weeping angels? These come down to how you interpret it. Or even angel statues. This comes down to how you interpret it. But if they're meaning real angels or other spirits, now either that means that they're seeing things, maybe they've smoked a bit too much DMT or something like that, or maybe they're on acid and they're seeing angels and spirits. But if angels and spirits don't exist, then people can't see them. So that means nobody's an indigo child, motherfuckers. Incredibly intuitive. That's basically this sort of thing, isn't it? Intuitive. I'm pretty sure it is. What's independent? Yeah, I'm independent. I like being independent, actually. I don't like having to rely on other people, because the thing is, if I rely on other people and they fuck up, then can't rely on them. It's pretty simple, in my opinion. If you rely on other people and they fuck up, you've fucked up because you've relied on that person. So, proud? Of course I'm proud. Who isn't proud at, even proud of what you've done? The only people that wouldn't be proud of what they've done are people that can't achieve anything because they're not given the opportunity to achieve anything. And so that's basically people people in third world countries who don't have any food or water. You should go ahead and find a charity and donate to them. Or better yet, if you're rich, then go ahead and, I don't know, build a school over there. Send them food and water. Do some good. Called to help others in large and profound ways. Again, who isn't? When I was young, I used to think that I'd never get asked for advice. Now I often get asked for advice. People ask me for advice. I'm like, holy shit. What do you want my advice for? Seriously, why would anyone want my advice? My advice can really suck. But yeah, I'm often called to help others, and yeah, sure, in large and profound ways. Because people need support. Who doesn't need support from time to time? I know that some people when some people need support, they push other people away. And yeah, that's something that people do, but easily bored. Yeah, I'm bored of this list already. They can fluctuate between feelings of grandiosity and low self-esteem. Who doesn't? Honestly, this is called mood swings, and who doesn't have mood swings? This is surely. Leave a comment, please, if this is a fallacy. Well, I'm pretty sure this is a fallacy where you can basically fit anybody into this. But yeah, I've done that. Tendency towards insomnia, nightmares, and other disturbed sleep patterns. I had insomnia last night. Just last night, I had insomnia. I just couldn't sleep last night at all. Often diagnosed with ADHD and ADD as children. Apparently I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with it as a child, and yeah, I've got ADHD. And I show signs of it even nowadays. I have trouble focusing on one thing for too long, and if I try and focus on something for too long, my mind will say, you've got to focus on something else, and so I'll try and look for something else to focus on. There's really something that will keep my attention for a long period of time. And when it does, it's usually awesome. Like, video games are usually the best thing to keep my attention for an extended period of time. Even then, I can sort of just go, alright, this is boring now. Time to go to the next thing, and like a week later I'll be back to that video game. But yeah, prefers to maintain a few friendships that are deep and real versus many friends that are less lasting. Yeah, I prefer that. I've generally had a small amount of friends, but when I've felt that I'm happier when I have a small amount of friends that are, that are more friendly to me. And yeah, sure, I might have like having a lot of friends, but the ones that remain there for a long period of time, like take Rogue Guy for example, good friend who's been there for me for a long time, been there. Shit, it's probably been over 2 years. 2 years that we've been friends now. And yeah, sure, I've never met him in real life, but that's one of my best friendships that I've got. Honestly. Strongly connected to animals and plants. In what way? Like, again, spiritually? Does talking to them count? I talk to animals all the time. I made a video about it a few weeks back where I talked to a kitten that made its way into my house. I talked to it. Is that being connected? I actually, fun story. I actually went upstairs after getting it outside, and I actually first I put the cat outside, and I said, "You're gonna come back, aren't you?" Closed the door, went upstairs, and I looked down out of the window, and here I see the kitten trying to get back into the house, like just walking towards the house, walking towards the door. And I called out to it saying, "Yep, I said that you'd be back." It looked at me as if to say, "You motherfucker," and then ran off. Is that connected to animals? And connected to plants, I don't have that. I don't have really good green thumbs, but I want to be able to grow, vegetables and stuff like that. Because being able to grow things like broccoli and snow peas are good. You can just like pull them off and eat them whenever you want. History of depression, suicidal ideation, or attempts. Well, here's the thing, like, I don't know if I have gone through depression itself. Like, there's been times when I've been depressed as fuck, but I don't know if I've actually gone through what most people would classify as depression. Like, there's been times where I've sort of felt like nothing that I can do will be able to make me feel better. And if you classify that as depression, then yeah, I've gone through depression a couple of times, but most of the times I managed to get over it, particularly with other people's help. If you're feeling down, and I think this can apply to people that just say that you are going through a rough patch in your life and you don't talk to anyone. I think that's more likely to lead to a sort of a long-term depression where it'll no longer be you're sad. It'll be you've been affected by something which is causing you to be constantly depressed. And so if you do go through a sad point, even if you've already gone through, even if it's sort of a thing where you're always depressed, I think you should still try and talk about it with other people to just get other people to help, mostly. Because if you're depressed, it's not a good thing to be depressed. So that's my opinion on that sort of thing. Hopefully some people can take things away from this. But yeah, my main message there is if you're depressed, talk to someone about it. Try and get other people to help you, whether you're going through depression or not. That's the best thing that you can do. Intelligent and quick learners, good in academic settings. Yeah, I'm intelligent. I'm a quick learner. And I can be good in academic settings. It just really depends. I don't like tests. I just don't like tests. Although if it's multi-choice, I love it. Especially if I get 100%. It's always great. Sensitive digestion. I don't know, sometimes. Does taking a laxative count? That's really vague. I don't know, like, sometimes I guess I can be. Technology oriented. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm working on a new game this year. It's going to be called Undestined Fates. I'm going to actually start a Undestined Fates project website. So that will be www. I'm going to have to buy the domain before I release this video, aren't I? Goddamn. But yeah, and I'm working on a couple of websites now. So hell yeah, I'm technology oriented. Incredible memories. Define incredible. I have some pretty incredible memories. But it really depends on your opinion of incredible. Like, does having sex for the first time count as an incredible memory? If you've never had sex before, then yeah, that will probably count as an incredible memory when you finally get round to doing it. However, if you've had sex a million times, probably isn't that incredible to you because you've had sex a million times. So it depends on your definition of incredible. Direct and determined when they set their mind to something. Yeah. I've set my mind to this YouTube channel for like close to 3 years now. And I've been determined that whole time. Sure, my determination has wavered, but yeah, I've still been determined. It's mostly course that gets in my way of doing this. And I fought Sans, god damn it. So of course I've got determination. Alright. Non-conformist or rebellious. Yeah, that describes me. I don't like conforming. If everyone's listening to pop music, I'm listening to heavy metal, fuckers. Of course, I can conform in certain settings. It depends on the sort of long-term implications of my conforming. If I am conforming to just like a party or something, like a particular setting that I'm in at that particular point in time, I don't mind. Who does? Be an asshole. Like if you're at a party and they're playing, some music that everyone loves, and then you be an asshole and you go, "We've got to get some heavy metal in here." Fuck yes. You're being an asshole. But it just says non-conformist. So yeah, I'd classify myself as a non-conformist. I'm just not a non-conformist arsehole. Can be very talkative as children and adults. Well, I think that question kind of answers itself. I'm done. Look right down there. Look down there. Where my fingers are pointing. I'm just trying to work out which one. There we go. Where my fingers are pointing. There's a logo which says PlanarTalk. Of course I'm fucking talkative. Sometimes hyperactive or inconsiderate, especially when on a mission. Hell yeah. I'm hyperactive. Like, some people may not view me as hyperactive, but in here, I'm hyperactive. And inconsiderate, yeah, sometimes. I can be an asshole. Often impatient. Yep, I'm impatient. I'm an impatient motherfucker. If you're taking like 2 hours to do something, I'll actually stress out over my impatience and be like, God, they're taking so long. But some of these things kind of seem like ADHD, which it mentioned. Like, being impatient is probably due to me having ADHD, which it says here, often diagnosed as ADHD or ADD as children. Often impatient, that's probably a side effect of having ADHD. I don't know. Alright, let's finish this up with Indigo Children are here to show us that really we're all star children. Every soul on Earth is at least a 7th dimensional spiritual being. Well, apparently there's 11 dimensions, so we're kind of fucked on that, aren't we? You know, we're only 7 dimensions and there's 11. Well, fuck. We're not quite on all 11 dimensions. And it's time to reclaim the spiritual connection and power. I kind of doubt that there's... Like, how do we go about doing that? If I'm a fucking indigo child now. I just found it out. I'm a indigo child smurf. So how do I reclaim the spiritual connection and power? Tell me how to do that. How do I activate my ESP sensors? I can read your mind. Fuck you for disliking my video. Fuck you! Go ahead and like that shit. I know you only disliked it because you thought I was an arsehole. I can tell that. But switch that dislike to a like. I read your mind. Fuck it. If I was correct and you disliked this video, leave a like. I now have spiritual powers. The Indigo's mission is to point out that we have all chosen to attend the multi-dimensional school on Earth. With the multi-dimensional school. And can... Oh, actually, I just remembered. It didn't say 7th dimensional school. So every school's multi-dimensional. God damn it. So which one? Did they all go to Aurora College? And by intentionally opening ourselves up to the divine, we can remember our true selves. Indigo Children remind us to access the collective love and wisdom of humanity, while at the same time helping us to leave behind all that no longer serves us. Okay, so that was one big load of bullshit, isn't it? How long have I wasted? Like, seriously. I wasted an hour on this shit? God damn. I wasted far too long on that shit. Well, fuck. So, this is too vague. Like, seriously, I can be an indigo child. You can be an indigo child. But yeah, this is bullshit, honestly. This is the biggest load of bullshit that I've ever heard. So leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed me mocking the shit out of that. If you're a fucking indigo child, space wizard, monkey, unicorn, dragon, let me know. And I'll tell you that you're an idiot. But yeah. Do leave a comment of something that you find stupid that you want me to rant about. This is basically a 1 hour rant of me going through a website which took far too long to go through. This is like they were basically pulling this shit out of their ass. But yeah, I'll see you. I was pointing at my microphone. I'll see you in the next podcast. Between you and me, thank you for watching.